Realistic expectations for every second-year QB coming into the 2026 NFL season. This is from NFL.com by way of Bleacher Report that's talking about this article, and it's very interesting. So y'all hit the like button as we get into it, and we'll discuss it if you don't mind. The quarterback position was far from the strength of the 2025 draft class, but the 13 signal callers taking during the event, especially those selected over the first 2 days, have a surprising amount of early career success. Several of the promising prospects emerged as starters, while others settled into depth or practice squad roles, rarely ever seen this or saw the field, regardless how the first season went. Now, year two will be pivotal for each of these passers. All will be looking to improve, but in some will inevitably suffer a dreaded sophomore slump, and others will put their stamp on the league. With that in mind, let's review last year's quarterback class and make some realistic predictions on how each member will face or fare during the upcoming 2026 campaign. Let's get into it. First up the bat, QB3's practice squad members and cut candidates. Jalen Milroe, the former Alabama Crimson Tide quarterback who's now with the Seattle Seahawks, won a championship in his rookie year. Milroe was selected as both a developmental project and insurance option in case Seattle's splashy Sam Darnold acquisition didn't work out, with Darnold leading the team to a Super Bowl victory and cementing his status as Seattle's starter for the foreseeable future. Milroe is set to remain as his top backup. Now, when Milroe only saw 3 different snaps as a rookie, there could be a few more plays for a dynamic dual threat signal caller going forward, even if they settle into a third string role behind Drew Lock. Milroe was glued to the bench, and after fumbling one of his rare appearances early last season, the coaching staff could give him another chance, attempting to catch defenses off guard by sporadically utilizing the sophomore in certain packages. Realistic expectation, the QB3 with occasional snaps and specific packages. You can't deny his athletic ability, that's for certain. Dylan Gabriel for Cleveland. Gabriel botched a chance to prove himself after Joe Flacco was traded early in 2025. The third-round rookie failed to spark Cleveland's offense in his 6 starts, going just 1-5, while completing fewer than 60% of his throws for 937 yards, 7 touchdowns, and with 2 interceptions and 19 sacks. It is unlikely Gabriel gets another shot following his disappointment showing. The Browns found far more success shifting to Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson back in the mix after the season, meaning Gabriel will have to settle for third-string duties to open up the 2026 season. Realistic expectations is he'll be a QB3 moving to QB2 if Watson or Sanders misses time. How about Will Howard from Pittsburgh? Any chance Howard had at earning a starting job evaporated when Aaron Rodgers decided to return for another run with the Steelers. Rodgers' decision instantly relegated Howard to a depth chart or a depth option, in which is arguably the league's most crowded quarterback room. Howard will now battle against rookie Drew Allar and longtime veteran Mason Rudolph for roles behind the future Hall of Famer. It is possible the Steelers trade Rudolph to clear the logjam, but there's also a chance they wind up keeping 4 signal callers on the roster. I don't know why. Howard is likely to settle in as a QB3, only seeing action if Rudolph gets dealt and Rodgers misses time. Realistic option, QB3, unless team splits with Rudolph. How about Kyle McCord from Green Bay? McCord never panned out in Philly. That selected him in the 6th round. They spent his entire rookie season on the practice squad before being scooped up by the Packers in January. Now, Green Bay conceivably has a wide open competition for the QB2 role following Malik Willis's departure. McCord isn't likely to be out veteran Tyrod Taylor or undrafted free agent Kyron Drones. Now, Taylor is a solid proven depth option who has the inside track to be the direct backup for Jordan Love, while Drones looks to be a better fit as a dynamic, versatile practice squad weapon. Realistic expectation, Kyle McCord get cut. Graham Mertz from Houston, right? Houston Texans may have quarterback conundrum on their hands following the year's playoff calamity, but even CJ Stroud's immense struggles won't result in Mertz getting meaningful playing time as a sophomore. He was a third stringer behind Stroud and Mills last year, and is likely to remain in that same position. Now, the sophomore best case scenario would involve Mills' trade, opening the door for him to take the QB2, but it will truly be fantastic showing Mertz during training camp to get Houston's brass comfortable enough to deal away an experienced backup. His decision is they like him at QB3. Cam Miller for the Dolphins. Like McCord, Miller is another late round quarterback who spent rookie season on the practice squad. He's being plucked away by another team franchise early this season. During his short stint with the Raiders, Miller never lived up to the endorsement that the minority owner Tom Brady provided during that draft. Miller now has to work out attempting to make Miami's roster. The Dolphins have moved on from Tua. They picked up Malik Willis in free agents and signed undrafted rookie Mark Gronowski to compete with the incumbent Quinn. There's too much competition for an inexperienced Miller to be anything more than a practice squad option. Then it's Curtis Rourke, who's with the 49ers. With Brock Purdy starting and Mac Jones backing him up, the Niners have a rock-solid quarterback situation. This could change, however, if Jones is a legitimate trade candidate thrown in for a stunning performance rep with Purdy last year. So Jones could be a potential starter for several QB-needy teams right now. So if that happens, you can see Rourke would need to truly shine in training camp for the 49ers to pull the trigger on a Jones trade. Right. So I wouldn't count on it. I think with Purdy's injury history, you want to probably keep Jones there if you're the 49ers. Okay, going to the QB2s. Now, y'all hit that like button and hype the stream for me going into the QB2s right now. So Shedeur Sanders is Cleveland Browns. Sanders may have been the best for the Browns quarterback options last year, but his status as the club starting signal caller is far from secure, which is weird because he went to the Pro Bowl last year? How is it still up for grabs? I don't get that part. And Deshaun Watson hadn't done anything to separate himself. So, and he's not, and Dylan Gabriel isn't challenging. So how is it still up for grabs? Despite Sanders going 3-4 in his 7 starts and even earning a Pro Bowl nod as a rookie, Watson will likely get the first crack at running new head coach Todd Monken's offense. Cleveland's quarterbacks competition became a borderline circus during the training camp last year and already started to look similar this year. While Sanders is a popular choice among the supporters, Watson is still playing out his second settling contract or his record-setting contract and seems healthy in numerous injury-plagued campaigns. The two will split first-team reps until a winner emerge, but Watson is the more gifted passer and more likely to come out ahead as long as he can stay on the field. Realistic expectation, QB2, barring injury or ineffective stretch from Watson. I still like Shedeur Sanders. You might as well move on with the future. You already had the owners come out and said they made a mistake with Deshaun Watson. He hadn't been able to stay healthy since they paid him all that money. It's a lot of pressure on him. And then I just think it's time to move on. You know, you got Carson Schwarzenegger on the defensive side. They traded to get Jared Verse there. Let's just give the job to Shedeur Sanders and move on and just see if you can trade Deshaun Watson, but we'll see how they handle it, man. Cleveland does a lot of crazy stuff. Riley Leonard from the Colts. After the wake of Daniel Jones' season akin to the Achilles tear, Anthony Richardson's injuries, and performance woes, and Philip Rivers' inability to spur the squad to victory, the Colts gave Leonard a surprise starting nod for the 2025 finale. Showed some promise, 21 of 34 for 270 and 2 touchdowns while had another score on the ground. The performance should help him kind of clinch a QB job, especially if journeyman backup Easton Stick being the Colts' lone off-season quarterback addition, given the strong potential that Richardson gets traded before the campaign kicks off. Leonard is the top candidate to back Jones up. I got to say he's in a favorable position with an injured Daniel Jones, an unsettled situation with Richardson. You're looking at Riley Leonard is looking at a pretty good situation. Quinn Ewers with Miami is another guy that they're looking at here. He is in, backing up Malik Willis. They got paid there. We know that's going to be interesting. He outperformed the modest expectations of a 7-round QB last year, logged 3 late season starts for Miami, including one that came after the team benched Tua. 23-year-old showed some promise. The Dolphins still opt to splurge on Malik Willis, considering the team's investment in Willis. Ewers will have to settle for opening up the season on the bench yet again, but at least you got a job. And then on to Tyler Shough, the other second-year quarterback. This is the Saints. The Saints drafted Tyler Shough with the expectation that the second round rookie would spend a season developing behind Derek Carr. Good thing that didn't happen. Those plans changed when the veteran signal caller announced a surprise retirement, thank the Lord, in May, leaving the Saints and Kellen Moore scrambling to sort out the mess under center. While Shough didn't win the QB role in training camp, the team struggles under Spencer Rattler led Moore to make a switch midway through the campaign. After a rocky start, Shough found his footing and helped guide New Orleans to 4 wins in the last 5 games. Now, during those contests, Shough looked poised and confident. He moved the ball well and appeared in comfortable. He looked very good and comfortable executing the team's offense, ultimately finishing his rookie season with a respectable 67.6 percentage completion rate, 2,300 plus passing yards, 10 touchdowns. And Shough initially struggled with giveaways, losing 2 fumbles and getting picked off 6 times altogether, but settled in and turned the ball over just once across those 4 final games of the campaign, which showed that a light went on. New Orleans has every season to believe it has found its franchise quarterback following the performance. The team went into the offseason with a plan to build around Tyler Shough and executed it well, using a series of draft picks to augment the young passer's weaponry, including standout receiver Jordan Tyson at number 8 and signed veteran guard David Edwards to reinforce the offensive trenches. While Shough getting a full training camp to prepare as a starter and key free agent pickups like Travis Etienne Jr. ready to provide a spark in the backfield, the Saints should boost a much more potent and well-rounded offense this year. If all goes to plan, Shough will be able to guide this unit, which ranked number 28th in scoring and number 23 in total offense last year, into the top half of the league and establish himself as one of the game's up-and-coming stars. Real expectation. Top 16 QB. There you go. There you go. Now, before I go back to Tyler Shough, let me just show a few more people they're talking about. Here go Jaxson Dart. They got him listed right here, talking about Jaxson Dart. They think he'll have a transformative season. They list him as a top 10 and him becoming eventually a Pro Bowler with Harbaugh there. And Cam Ward became Miss Cam Ward, who has some more weaponry. They added some more pieces like Cornell Tate to help him out right there. We know that they got a new coach down there, so they're trying to build up the offense to help him out. They also had Wyandotte Robinson, the former Giant, there, and added a few more pieces offensive, and they got him listed as a top 12 QB in the NFL. No Pro Bowl on him, but they think that Jaxson Dart could be a Pro Bowler with all of the changes that you see Harbaugh bring with him. Kelvin Austin III, Darnell Mooney, Juju Smith-Schuster, who's lost a step to me. But you had Harbaugh there. He's bringing the defense in. They bring in free agent signings like, oh my goodness, Lucas Patrick, trying to bring these guys in as extra pieces. I don't think they're quite there yet, but I do like some of the talent like Cam Scatterbo, and if Malik Neighbors could stay healthy. Malachi Fields he was added there in the 3rd round. So I do like a lot of the weapons that the Giants have, but we'll see. But going back to the Saints and all the great things that we've seen them say about Tyler Shough, and the fact that they mentioned Tyler Shough as a top 16 QB from the bottom to the top. And one great thing was said about the Tyler Shough situation is the fact that they know without a doubt that Tyler Shough, the Saints did a wonderful job, because there's going to be some success. You got to keep them upright. Tyler Shough he can make all the throws, the intermediate stuff, the short, intermediate, and the long throws. The Saints last year struggled from a wide receiver perspective to stretch the field. Height was an issue as well. That's not the problem this year. The Saints made a conscious effort to get tall wide receivers that can get upfield. Bryce Lance is 6'3". Barron Brown is not as tall, but still he's more of a special teams weapon that you'll see utilize. Jordan Tyson is a nice weapon there. Noah Fant, Oscar Delp, those guys. And then improving the line, you got a year more of maturation from Tyler Fuaga, Kelvin Banks Jr. Those guys will be healthy. See, Eric McCoy is back healthy. That's a big part for the overall intelligence of the Saints. From an internal standpoint, from a line standpoint, with him calling out protections and all this kind of stuff, him having extra eyes to do it. The left guard position of David Edwards, having that championship experience and talking to guys like Kelvin Banks. Kelvin Banks loves David Edwards, who comes here to help out. Cesar Ruiz, some would consider the weak link, but Cesar Ruiz, I think we'll get the best play we've seen from Cesar in a long time, simply because of the fact that people are going to be spotlighting him. He's pissed off. He thinking that people don't think he could play football, so he'll be more motivated to show what he's got. That's a positive. So the restructuring of Alvin Kamara, we don't have to worry about all this foolishness about him being traded and all this nonsense. He's locked in for this year. Travis Etienne was a major addition along with AK-41. So the Saints have a lot of talent all over the place that they built into the offense that Tyler Shough will take advantage of. He will take advantage of. Not to mention that he could take off, and I'll be interested to see what new wrinkles that Kellen Moore will be adding into the offense. Remember, in the Saints minicamp, instead of just going over stuff, he decided to kind of implement and put some scheme in. He added some more wrinkles and getting them ready for another couple of weeks, another week or so before training camp starts for the Saints, where you'll see year number 2 of them implementing the new offense and defense and all this kind of stuff into the team. So no doubt about it, you'll see a jump from the Saints from the cellar on up, and I think that's something we have to watch out for in terms of the health issue is the major component of can a team stay healthy? That's the biggest part. And we'll see. And I think they will. I think the Saints will capture the NFC South. I think the Saints will pose a lot of problems to a lot of teams in the NFL, man. So I think they're going to surprise quite a few people, right? All right, so shout out to FanDuel. Y'all get y'all prop bets in at FanDuel. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Hype the stream. We're close to 15,000. Y'all hit that subscribe button, right?
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thehootitdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thehootitdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the...
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.